there were a lot of words we could not say, lot of topics we could not address. Like even if suppose I have to talk about eve teasing, but on eve teasing I have to mention say words like boobs easily. As a comedy video is accessible, a porn video is also accessible. But it's that's what everything comes on comedy only, which also we feel unfair that कि सिर्फ हम पे डाल रहे हैं, बट पॉलिटिशियंस बोलते हैं या एक्टर्स बोलते हैं कुछ और बोलते हैं, उन पे nobody is putting that moral policing. It'll really restrict our freedom of speech, and our country, the country laws and regulations which promoted freedom of speech वो ही like कटर में चली जाएगी. तो I'm like worried about that. सबको सिर्फ सबको हंसाना है, किसी को बुरा फील नहीं कराना है. Like nobody's in that state, because how will you make money from your art if you're a comic and you're just making people angry?
Hi guys, today I'm having a very exciting conversation. I'm actually speaking to a comic, a comedian, and her act has been really the game changer in my marriage. If Pavitra will understand what this act was, she was here with us in Aurangabad. She's performed with us. I've seen her live so many times, and she always cracks us up. I love, love, love her comedy. But as a parent, I had a lot of concerns as to why comedy today is so obscene and it's getting more vulgar. There's a lot, right, in terms of language, in terms of content, which has been worrying me. So I reached out to Pavitra. She'll have this conversation with me and help me understand why, firstly, and how does she see the future of comedy? What does she feel about regulations? I just wanted to pick her brain and just see, where do comics lie in this situation? And as parents, if we can find some answers.
For parenting tips, celebrity interviews, recipes, conversations with experts, and lots more, subscribe to Ruchira Darda now.
Thank you, Pavitra, for being here today and joining us and, being open to having this conversation with me.
Thank you for having me. I'm when you briefed me about the questions, I was already excited because it's nice to know even our side of the story. And yeah, I mean, if it's good to have this conversation than assume things, because as humans in 2025, we love to assume the worst. So these open conversations are good. I think it'll just help artists understand their audiences and audiences understand their artists better. So yeah, kudos to you for doing this as well.
Thank you for agreeing to do this with me. So,
Sure.
Pavitra, tell me, why did you choose to be a comic, a comedian? It's not a conventional choice for any Indian parent, and let alone for a girl child. So, what was the story here? What inspired you to be a comedian, and what was your journey like? What your journey has been like so far?
Okay. Yeah, so like as a child born in the 90s, I have also been presented with the standard choices of doctor, engineer, arts, etc., etc. And I did go about that as well. Like, so I wanted to be a dentist. I got through the exams, got through a school, but then I realized I wanted to be that only because my dad and my brother are dentists, and that wasn't good enough reason. And then I studied biomedical engineering and landed an IT job, because that's how it is in India. You study one type of engineering, you get into another type of engineering, and at the end of the day, you're just like, "Paise kahan se milenge?" Like that's what is important. And I was in IT for a good 7 years. I worked with Accenture, then I worked with Deloitte, and then finally, I was like, in the middle of all of this is when I started watching comedy. And I mean, I've been watching comedy like since my college days, because that's also when it kind of started booming, and we started having more public shows and more experimental shows. Like initially, I think the comedy scene was mostly dominated by like the acts of like the Great Indian Laughter. So you had those people who were doing the like those big shows, auditorium shows directly. There wasn't easy access to comedy as like it's happening at a comedy club. There was nothing that called a comedy club that existed back then. So like, because I started earning my own money and I could decide where I wanted to invest in, my friends and I, we would love going and watching shows. And I found it very amusing that these people were making us laugh when they had like no context to us, and uh, we have no context to their lives. Because I was like, okay, my friends, they laugh at my jokes because they like me, and I have so many references to like pull out, so it's like very easy to get that laugh going. So that I found very amusing, and like it was like very enviable, that quality. And I remember when the first ladies open mic happened in Bombay, my friends like tagged me and they were like, you should participate. And I was like, oh god, it already, the butterflies, rats, joby animals, wildlife started roaming around in my stomach. And then I was at my cousin Sangeet, and like at 4 a.m. we're dancing, and I was like, okay, let's just like apply to this. And I registered, and then I gave it a shot. It went pretty well, and it's like that. It's like a drug, I would say. Like, it's very addictive. Like, the when you go on stage and you get that validation or that reaction that you're expecting, I felt like alive again. Like, because I was also someone who loved extracurriculars in school and college, and I remember the last street play I did in my last year of engineering, and I was like, I think this is the last time I'll do anything creative. Like, now I'm going to be an adult and I won't get to do anything creative. And I was like weeping before my performance. So for me, I was like, oh wait, I don't. It doesn't have to be my last time on stage. So I think I was really excited about that. And then I think it was just the community was kind, and I performed in front of like the right set of comics, I think, were hosting my shows. So they would also give me longer spots. And for me, it had just become like a way to like feel excited every month. Like, I would do one show for a few months, and then they just started offering more spots, and I just couldn't say no. And then it just took over my life, and then it started paying, and then it started paying more than IT. And I was like, okay, bye bye. मैं ये छोड़ के जा रही हूँ, मुझे वो ही करना है. So yeah, eventually, yeah, passion over the. I mean, I did enjoy the my job also to a certain extent, but it's very like in that you're not khud ka master. So if someone is like trying to control your schedule, and then I was like, no, I can't do that bit. It's like the work is fun, but how the work is to be done is not fun. So I wanted to be khud ki malik. So
course.
this is
We all do, and I
yeah,
think that's the biggest luxury you can get. But very interesting
yeah,
to study so much, work in IT, and then, transform it into a totally different career. But
yeah,
so what is this like for comedy? Is there like a certain process? Like, how do you find your topics? How do you
yeah,
get that script going? Is there a lot of prep
yeah.
work, or it's something more instinctive? How does that work on stage?
So, like, every comic has their own style and writing process, but like for me, it's more like what topics inspire me, and like I feel I find the funny in, or I feel something that, oh, this is so relatable, or this is something I want to talk about. Like, I have a lot of opinions about. And earlier, like when I was younger, I think I wrote down like every word, and like I planned everything. But now I have like an idea of what I want to say, and I go and riff on stage. Because also with time, there's a little bit of confidence that comes. You also like to take a chance and see what happens to you. You also like try to screw with yourself on stage, because you want to make it more exciting for yourself. Like earlier, you just want to make it as less anxious for you as possible, but now you're like, you okay, if you do this, let's see what happens. And it's yeah. My therapist also wants to know what happens after that, but it's fun to like also mess around with yourself. And you learn either that this doesn't work for me, or like this is something I can do. So yeah, like something if I say and I feel like, oh, this is funny, I'll just make a note of it somewhere. Or I'm having a bath and I'll remember something. Pot is the great place where all ideas fester. So I'm constantly like, yeah, making notes. And then I'll just, when like one day, sit and like elongate it a little bit, and then on stage see where it's going. And also, like, because we have an audience, while talking about something, there's also a crowd work that very organically happens, and then like the same thing which I was thinking from one POV, their POVs also get added. So then the set keeps becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm like, oh, okay, ye bhi hota hai. So it's a good, fun learning process. Yeah, I guess it keeps changing over time.
Of course, I'm sure. So when something is recorded, like an episode to go online or on television, that is definitely scripted prior and it's not got too much space for fluidity, right? Or does that also work like that?
So mostly it's scripted, but like because comedians do like change little words here and there, or sometimes a reaction from the audience can also uh, like elicit another reaction from us. So basically, sometimes it goes a little astray, but I would say like 10 to 20% of that would be there, but 80% is mostly scripted, and especially for television and all of that, there are a lot of like SMP laws that we have to follow. So we can't say anything and everything, even if we want to. Like I was a part of this show called Comic Stan, which came on Amazon. So over there, um, like a lot, there were a lot of words we could not say, lot of topics we could not address. So for someone like me, even though it's not abusive language, but if it is like a topic, like even if suppose I have to talk about eve teasing, but on eve teasing I have to mention say words like boobs, like because it is an integral part of what is getting teased, and the context is very different, but the mention of that word would not make it then fit for TV. So there were a lot of my sets which I actually wanted to do, but those I couldn't do. But that also challenged me to then write differently, write very away from my style, and learn a new form of writing. But it wasn't the most natural to me. So I had to uh, figure according to their rules and try and bring a balance between my style and their rules, and still, complies and is still funny after that. So that was very challenging for me. So with TV, you have to kind of stick to your script, because if it goes, if it negates any of the laws that have been addressed to us, then yeah, it gets cut off on the edit, and then yours set doesn't look good. So
Right.
yeah, pretty much that.
So comedy today has also become very vulgar and obscene, right? Like the topics that are being picked up are quite disturbing in its own way, I would say. Why is that?
Hmm.
And is it a requirement for comedy to be like that?
So definitely not. So now, because comedy is subjective, I would say like something like which may seem like vulgar to you or me may seem relatable to another, or may seem like a source of letting out for another. Like I know of like comedians in the scene who are my friends, who are speaking about uh, dead parents, and for them it's actually an emotional journey which helps them deal with their trauma and helps them deal with their grief. So the point is not to obviously like not respect their parents or anything like that. And whilst there are people who deal with it very differently, like even someone like me, even I will be like, oh my god, how did they say that? So sometimes there are people who actually find it amusing, because they wouldn't ever imagine someone saying it in that. So even if they don't grieve the same way, it is amusing to hear that someone else has such a different opinion. So some people react in that way, and then there are some who also have dead parents, and they watch that and they get this whole new perspective. And because humor is a lot to deal with your misery, like even for me, there are so many topics which I have been upset about, and then I make a joke about it and it releases the tension. And I've seen that uh, on a day, suppose if something like that, like there I initial bits of mine used to be so much about my mother, and so many of our fights or so many of our conversations, and it always would land because very relatable. But if on a day I have fought with my mother and gone on stage to perform, like people can notice that there is still that tension and that joke doesn't land as well. So it's a lot to do with also what the intention of the joke is, what the emotion is, and who the receiver of the joke is as well. So it's obviously nothing is mandatory. Like clean comedy is also not mandatory. Like because there is that when you're giving someone a freedom of like speak about whatever, the best work will also come out. Because if you yourself, if I tell you, I give you like an assignment to write an essay, and I just say write an essay on me, you will just go free flowing. But if I tell you write an essay about me, but don't talk about my looks, don't talk about how fat I am, don't talk about my hair, I'm very particular about it, don't talk about this. Now if I give you five don't talk abouts, and suppose another person walks in and they give you five more don't talk about, and my mother's like, I feel about Pavi don't talk about, then you're just like, what do I write? Because your brain is now only thinking about what not to talk about. So that's the case that is happening with comedy also, because every audience has a different don't talk about. So for us it's like, okay, who do we cater to? So our solution to this is also that like everybody kind of then understands that this comic is like, say, a dark comic, or this comic is a clean comic. So like when my friends are like, oh, my parents want to watch and they prefer clean comedy, I suggest those comics who I know have like no vulgar language, or not like nothing related to sex or anything. But there are some parents who want to watch that, like they want it to be discussed in the open. So then we suggest comedians accordingly. We also like tell people to watch some of their YouTube stuff online, so that you have an idea कि इनका 1 घंटा का शो ऐसे होने वाला है. So is this something that is your style that you would enjoy? Because there are like 100 styles of comedy. So, and there are so many comedians now in India that there's one catering to everybody's taste. So you there's not even one, multiple. So you don't even have to be like, oh, I don't have anything to watch. You obviously have certain people, certain brackets, and yeah, even age group wise, like we were talking about kids, etc. That's why there's also a age limit bar of 18, that only 18 and above can watch comedy shows, even for clean comedy, because sometimes it's just mature topics that you're talking about, and you may not be talking them, there may be no abusive language, but it's still a mature topic. Maybe they're not, although kids today are way more mature than us, I have seen them, it's evolution, I guess, but they're just too evolved. And they also, because the internet is such that they can access anything and everything as easily as a comedy video is accessible, a porn video is also accessible. But it's that's what, everything comes on comedy only, which also we feel unfair that कि सिर्फ हम पे डाल रहे हैं, बट पॉलिटिशियंस बोलते हैं या एक्टर्स बोलते हैं या कुछ और बोलते हैं, उन पे nobody is putting that moral policing. It's only coming on comedy ki, which I understand, every all of us as citizens have a responsibility ki what is our messaging, but also ours comes with an entire disclaimer of these are jokes. We are the only people who are putting that at the start of our video ki disclaimer, these are jokes. A lot of it is even lies, because so many comedians make up things just for the sake of making people laugh. And no comedian, I mean, as far as I've seen, the art right now is at that stage कि सबको सिर्फ सबको हंसाना है, किसी को बुरा फील नहीं कराना है. Like nobody is in that state, because how will you make money from your art if you're a comic and you're just making people angry? So the intention, I think, is what matters. And I think just having clarity on what the material is, so that people can choose better on the ticketing system. I think that can resolve more than half of the issues. So, yeah.
But I think the debate is here that we are intentionally also using, like you said, there are genres in comedy as well. But
Yeah.
somehow, if it'll be a very small majority who advocates clean comedy today. You go for any
Hmm.
shows today, most of the people will use very foul language. They will have, they'll go all out on obscene content. So is it like completely intentional to say that because this is what people are thinking is, getting the reaction? Then is it
Mm.
obviously has to be really thought of, it has to be really planned, and so I'm trying to understand that Why has it become so intensely vulgar in terms of language or content? Um,
Hmm.
and if the
I think
majority audience is wanting that, because a large majority of comedians have moved towards that language. It's a very small handful, which I feel still does like this clean comedy.
correct, because I think everyone is living in a world where there are so many restrictions that even seeing someone on stage openly say that, like, there are thoughts which everyone has probably thought in the room, like some of the jokes they probably know where the joke is going, but just the fact that someone framed it in that way, in the most perfect way, like the same reason why we share memes, because it's like perfectly saying what we want to say. There is a release not only from the comic when they are ranting on a particular thing, but also from the audience, because they're like, oh my god, this is exactly how I feel. And that's why a connection is built between the audience and the comic. And like most comedians, at least the ones who've been doing this since over a few years, the bad words don't come with like the actual meaning of the bad word, but like it's more like a emotion. Like if I have to explain, like when you're talking with your friends and you know how you abuse, you're not like even the f word, nobody's actually trying to f someone, but you're saying it with an there's an emotion attached with, like, in language how it is being used. Like there's a famous Osho uh,
Yes.
audio also about how f is used as a verb, adjective, everything. It's like that. It's just that nobody, when they say a BC or an MC, they're not literally saying that, but it's like the emotion in connection to the bit that was just said. So when someone says it like that, uh, in fact the joke is by itself is funny and the BC or the MC was not even required, but sometimes
Exactly.
it just comes out in the emotion because you're on stage and you're so passionately talking. And comedians over time become so comfortable with their audiences, they become like your friends, because you are being unabashed, and the more unabashed and vulnerable you are, your your audiences will connect with you. Because if you are that straight speaking person, then there's no difference between you and say a news reporter. So you have to have some difference between the two. And so it's more like their style. A lot of newcomers I've seen, like, initially they make this mistake where they feel that गाली बोलेंगे तो easy laugh आएगा. So when they get nervous and they're seeing that material नहीं चल रहा है, तो they'll give one two bad words because they're like, oh, हंसी आ गई. It just relieves them of a tension, which over time even they learn. And a lot of us comics, like, we have a set for public shows where we go all out, but for corporate shows, or like for the shows like I did for y'all, I had to also like limit myself to a certain extent, not use certain words or not say certain parts of the set that I have done for y'all. And it's like you cater to the audience who is calling you. So sometimes I've been like called for like a private party where they want us to talk about this or address these things. So it's like basis what people want, but also like what you enjoy speaking about and how you like talking about it. Although yeah, there are some comedians who I would say, like, according to me, even like I feel the content is sexist or misogynistic. Like that obviously is an issue, but unme se also some are like this is just for the joke, but unme se also some are where I know this is their actual thought process. But again, it's like there is they also have an audience. The WhatsApp forwards that we get on like our family groups are वो become sexist या misogynistic नहीं होता है. उनका उनको सबसे ज्यादा laugh reacts मिलते हैं group पे. Our own dads and moms, I have seen my dad also crack it, but obviously not mean it. But that's what, it's just that uh, that leeway that you give to your family member, if you also give it to the comic, you understand what intention they're coming with. And we also have really improved on ourselves. Like initially we would say certain things and not even realize ki, oh, this is galat. So we have also changed our content over time, tried to be inclusive. I remember like when I started off, again, non-intentional, but well, when I would talk to anyone in the audience, I would just ask them about like, oh, do you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? never took into consideration what their sexuality could be, like maybe their partner choices are different. But now it's like, or something like walking into a room and just saying, hey guys. But hey guys is what, there are women also sitting, there are others also sitting, you can't. So just something, and those things took a lot of, like, I had to be so careful while remembering it, because it's so, hey guys ऐसे ही निकल जाता था मुंह से, unintentional, just because you've been hearing it that way. So those things, like now I can't ask anyone girlfriend boyfriend, मेरे मुंह से ही partner निकलता है, like how is your partner doing. Now that has been conditioned and I'm happy about it, but I'm sure 2 years down the lane शायद partner also will not be acceptable, it will be something else. So we, as the trends change and we understand कि वो ये गलत है, ये सबको include नहीं कर रहा है, we are also trying to change with that. But सब कुछ साथ में fix नहीं होने वाला है, like it's a slow process and that time also needs to be given. And um, yeah, like these conversations help, right? Like we get to know your side, you reach that balance as such. Some may be like, oh no, it dilutes my comedy and I wouldn't, but some would be willing to do it. So it's
Right.
something like that.
No, thanks for sharing that. I mean, it's obviously something I not considered when I started this conversation at all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
recently we were also in a debate with a friend, and I felt very strongly that there should be a ban on these kind of shows, and there should be some regulation. Um,
Mhm.
as a mother, honestly, never thought
Yeah.
of it before. In so many years, it never even occurred to me. But today, as a
Yeah.
young mother, it really disturbs me that where is our society headed? Are we really just like only can we only take joy in like these random conversations or bad language? Why can't we take joy in the
Mhm.
good old simple solutions? And they advocated like, hey, this is adult comedy, so don't sign up for it. But like you said,
Yeah.
it's easily available. So how am I even ever going to protect my child? When he turns 18 or 20, he's going to go for a show that he was not allowed for. And then he'll be like, this is the way you talk. This is what's funny.
Yeah.
And say he's the child who wants to be a performer in his friends and wants all the attention, is going to come home and repeat those things to his friends,
Yeah.
his family. So the cycle of language is going to continue beyond the show. It's not just listen and laugh and finish, right? Um,
Correct.
is is this like what do you feel about it? Like as a comic, do you perceive that ever as a situation? And in terms of like, do you feel like a little bit of government regulations or some kind of mandates would be a good thing?
So yeah, I have thought about this. The thing is, see, yes, we are in a position where we can be highly influential because of, like, okay, we are standing on a stage. There is a spotlight on us, so there is a certain amount of looking up to. When you're seeing also so many people applaud and clap, you're seeing the reaction. There's a certain level of like, oh, this is something people appreciate. I understand that, but also like each child, each person also has the ability to distinguish from, like, what is the joke in this, what is the actual, like, reality. Now something like even I'm watching all of these comedians, right, day in day out, but also we've been brought up in a certain way to be able to identify कि ये गलत है, ये सही है, ये मुझे funny लगा, ये वो है. Just because I watch something doesn't mean I have to replicate it. Now, obviously, I know that depending on the age they see, they can be easily impressionable. And if they come back home, there is a conversation even that you will have to do. Because, see, it's not only going to happen with comedy, they can even watch the news where so many politicians or so many actors or so many celebrities from various walks of life have said so many questionable things. Like something for me, I feel like, again, this is because it's subjective, right? Like I feel like a comedian's joke feels less harmful to me than someone saying that one should work 200 hours a week. Because I'm like, jitna mental health इस बच्चे का खराब होगा वो 200 आवर्स ऑफ वीक करके, उसकी मेंटल हेल्थ लाइफ जो खराब होगी उतना नहीं होगी वो जोक सुन के, जोक से शायद रिलीफ मिलेगा. सो आई फील लाइक दैट वे everything that the child is exposed to is a medium of influence. The internet is a medium of influence, but basis your education, your bringing up, your discussions, like parents nowadays in fact have a so much more better equation with their children where open discussions happen. There is something like sex education now, where earlier our parents were, even no matter how cool they were, but it's always been like
Of course, yeah.
how to talk about it. We had to resort to it, like our education online or with our friends, or अगर गलती से स्कूल में हुआ जो भी वर्जन हुआ उसका, our sex education was periods होते हैं बच्चों को, that is like not education in its fullest form, right? So I feel like everything influences a person, but what part you decide to let you influence you and like understand and discuss it, that is what is important, which has to be done after the child watches, listens to any form of medium. In fact, I feel like comedy may at least that kavach is there of already saying ki these are jokes, don't take them seriously, at least there is a disclaimer given. But news may nahi hai. At least movies also give that disclaimer, or shows give that disclaimer, because like we watch like say something like a Patal Lok also जहाँ पे violence हो रहा है, or like a Kabir Singh also, like all of these shows they have that thing to it, but what you watch and what you take from it also depends on your personality. So that is also something that needs to be worked on. And with coming to the government putting regulations, um, I've seen how extreme it can get, which is why I'm worried that it'll be so extreme that it won't be sensible, or like it'll really restrict our freedom of speech and our country, the country laws and regulations which promoted freedom of speech वो ही like gutter में चली जाएगी. So I'm like worried about that कि it will be misused and the regulations will be used to shut us up, and not, it won't be used with the intention of maybe like how to help the people out. It is just like in lo ka muh band karo, because it's also becomes this whole leftist versus rightist thing, and like what is right, what is wrong as per each side. So political agenda getting into art in any form, like for movies, shows, paintings, comedy, any form of art, I feel it can really ruin art. Like just the example that I suggested to you, like write about me, and if I keep putting restrictions, what the product will be in the first case and in the second case, you will see that huge difference. So I, as a comic, like even the thought of it frightens me. Like my immediate thought is, which country will I move to?
Wow.
Because then I won't enjoy comedy. Like, because the whole point is I get to speak my mind. And as a woman in the country, to get to speak your mind on a stage already feels like a very big privilege. And if that is also taken, then I'm like pretty sure I would want to shift countries. So, yeah, like that's the first thought that comes. Yeah.
Wow, very interesting. Although I, it's very hard for
I,
me to, actually comprehend it, and for me
I
to
get it.
actually accept it. For me, I'm feeling
Hmm.
there can be so many other ways of releasing that frustration, and letting go and having a good laugh. Like I've been for your show, I laughed my head out. I was at a recent show here in the city, and literally the performer had to stop and be like, "Are you breathing?" Because I'm scared for you, like because I was laughing
Yeah,
so hard. And
get it.
I really appreciated that his show didn't have any like foul language. Didn't have any situations which made me uncomfortable. So I also feel that space can be there, right? And this is maybe not the best way to release that energy through like
Hmm.
foul language, or just mocking situations which are for me morally incorrect. Now it's very like, of course, personal opinion. So I'm finding it very
Yeah,
hard actually. I know. Thank you for being
yeah,
so honest and authentic with this
of
conversation.
course.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like I think exactly the opposite side. So for me, it is like
No,
it
but that's
makes
good. That's
sense
good
what
then.
you're saying, but it's not like feeling like you know,
There's no release of tension
yeah,
still.
I feel like, yeah. And I totally agree with you that it's art and, you obviously need your freedom to express
Yeah.
wholly. And I totally understand because I also love my freedom more than anything. Like that's the one
Yeah.
thing I can't compromise anyone telling me ye mat karo and ye karo or whatever. So I get that, but it's hard for me to understand why we have to cross all boundaries as a society and then do this, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a bit stuck, I guess.
But yeah, so like how you said that you felt like my comedy or the other comics comedy that you saw, that this was a fair way of releasing the energy. But there are people who have come up to me also and felt that I was being like, I was crossing limits. So that's the thing, that art is like that, that for you that seemed, something seemed okay and safe, seems unsafe to someone else also. Like the sex kabhi kariyo na joke also, just the mention of the word sex, just it riles up some people.
Of course.
Although it has nothing, that whole joke is just so stupid. There's nothing to it. There's no learning. There's nothing to it. It's just that. So that is the issue, because our country has so many people and obviously so many opinions, and everybody has a different sense of right, wrong, gray. So what we can do is, and also everybody has a different way of enjoying the art. Like obviously I can do a show where I do a toned down version of this. Ability is not the issue, but will I enjoy it? Like that's why a public show where I am allowed to say anything and everything, as a performer, I enjoy it way more than a corporate show where I have to limit myself. So it's also that, like, so obviously, if we have a system, like, even if the government brings in laws, I know I'll be able to do it, but then maybe I will not enjoy being a comic and I'll maybe go back to IT. Like, it's that. It's just that there are ways of doing it, but then, like, is it still fun? And is it still fun for also so many audiences? Like, if I give you a diluted version like of my show, you come expecting the previous Pavi, and then the next show you come and like, why is Pavi so different? You'll think I'm probably going through some mental health issues. Ki ye aaj kyun utni nahi? Something like that. It's always that, because that's a different version of ourselves. So because it becomes difficult to cater to everyone, our solution is that, listen, this is what we do. This is why there's an age limit bracket. If you enjoy, please watch. If you don't sign up for this. Like,
True.
that's the fairest and most logical way of how we could decide this, because the numbers are too many to take into consideration subke likes and dislikes. It's like very confusing. So we go with more like, okay, if we can fill a room of 50 people who would enjoy this, I can continue doing this. But okay, if it's not happening at all, like that sexist misogynistic comic also at one point had to stop because they realized कि किसी को सुनना नहीं है. So at that point the comic is forced to change their point of view, कि oh, like people are not getting it unless the joke is so brilliant that everyone gets it, it's a joke and it's not their point of view. Then a person may even laugh at that, and doesn't mean that person is sexist. They are getting the irony in that sexist joke. So it's also that, like, we also like feed off the audiences and know कि ये तो चलता है, लोग समझ रहे हैं. तो जब तक समझ रहे, you have those people, you're like, why should I mess with something that's working, a working system? So yeah, it's,
No, it's
I don't
beautiful.
know if that
Actually,
helps.
I actually never thought of comedy as art. So, firstly, just putting the word there has actually thrown me off balance today. I
Yeah,
actually signed into this conversation feeling completely empowered to convince you as a comedian that this is
yeah,
the wrong thing that's happening. But I mean, I'm definitely feeling the shift inside me to say, hey, yeah, it's art and art in every form. Like there are songs that range from the most romantic to the most obscene, and
yeah,
paintings that go from simple sceneries to, explicit visuals
yeah, content.
and images, definitely. So I'm seeing it so much differently. In fact, I think the questions that I wrote to ask you are not even making sense to ask anymore because I feel like I am myself sort of, in that space of, yeah, I guess everybody has the right to kind of express the way
Yeah,
they want to, speak their mind.
correct.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
it's very limited myself from coming from a parent point of view. But I see where
Yeah.
you are and how you guys are thinking. It's actually cleared my head a lot. I won't say I'm convinced. I won't say I'm
Of course.
advocated.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer your comedy of some simple gestures,
Yeah.
simple situations. That's definitely going to always be my personal preference. But I am going
Sure,
to
sure.
definitely ask you the question I had written to, the last question that I was going
Sure.
to ask you. That
Yeah.
once you're on stage, and in a way you have actually spoken about it when you were talking earlier, but I still want to ask you this
Hmm.
explicitly. When you're on stage, performing,
Yeah.
and the audience is full of these young minds, they're looking up to you. Okay. Now, everything you
Yeah.
say is going to get repeated like a million times.
Yeah.
Because like right now, I told you last week we were at the show with Akash Gupta. Every joke
Yeah.
we have been repeating every time all of our
Yeah.
friends are meeting, whether it's
Correct.
Maggie
Yeah.
packet or whether it's, some
Yeah.
action of some auto driver, anything. We are repeating it in every situation.
Correct.
These young kids are looking up to you in awe that you are this
Yeah.
famous person on stage.
Correct.
Everything you're saying is, taken in, first in terms of language, in terms of the storytelling, in terms of situation,
Correct.
in terms of your reaction. You did say that sometimes, you exaggerate the situation.
Yeah.
Not you as in you, but comedians. Basically, how do you feel about being the person who is such a strong influence on a young mind? Children see you as a role model in their own way, right? Like whether it's your stage
Yeah.
appeal, whether it's your
Yeah.
popularity, whether it's your acceptance. There's a lot of influence
Correct.
you're creating, and it's firsthand.
Yeah.
It's someone they're seeing live and feeling the energy of
Correct.
the auditorium, right? And taking home that energy and repeating everything you're going to say. So, as a
Yeah.
performer, do you feel like you have responsibility towards these children or even to your audience because you're such a strong influence on them? And especially, I want
Yeah.
to highlight the young viewers. Do comedians feel that responsibility? How do you handle it? What do you do for it? Or do you feel you need to let it be and people need to take accountability for themselves?
Oh, definitely. I feel like there is a sense of responsibility because we are propagating our ideas and our opinions on things, and especially uh, like that's why I even talk about like eve teasing, because so many women relate to that, or like men see it from a different POV of how women feel, or even talking about mental health now. Like a lot of comics are speaking about mental health and making it so normal and like just that everybody discusses it so openly that, and even in the joke agar we are like say कि हम पागल बुला रहे, तो we explicitly say कि ये joke है, like it's not right to say this, like that's not the way of talking. Or about like being on the heavier side, like talking about that side of also like weight gain or size, like people commenting on you. So like a lot of our topics are about our personal lives where we've also been bullied or something like that, and our opinions on it, or on relationships, or on breakups, which is why people when they are watching, we know that it not only our comedy is not only healing us in a certain way, because I said like we convert our miseries into jokes to deal with them better, but it also helps another person, like which is why like lot of comics post their shows get those messages from people saying ki, oh, this helped me with this part of my life or certain areas of their life. So we do obviously feel responsible that if something that we say or advocate will be taken seriously, which is why even if we are watching fellow comics and we see that somebody is saying something sexist or misogynistic, we do go and tell them, listen, or casteist or anything, because so many times when you're just trying to get the laugh and you're you that intention is not there, but you're just saying it, especially a new joke, you're going unfiltered. But as friends, we do, we like, listen, this is sounding casteist, and like you should reframe it, and we correct each other as well, because stage पे in that feeling of excitement, anxiousness, बहुत सारी बात कचरा निकल जाता है जो तुम बोलने की
Correct.
कोशिश भी नहीं कर रहे हो. So we also do that check on each other ki how much ever we know, and ki okay ye mat karo. And some people don't do it because they understand, and some people don't do it because they don't want to get cancelled. But the point is, we're like, as long as it's not happening, that's also a good thing. So but obviously there are some comics who will be like कि नहीं यार सब समझ लेंगे जोक है. But okay, we can't change everyone, but in our community we try to like put across that POV, and everyone is pretty responsible about like what message is going out. It may not be like a social message we are improving the society or anything, but at least we want, in our head we are trying to put the right view forward. And if we are putting an outrageous viewpoint forward, we are, through our delivery we are trying to make it as obvious as possible कि हम मजाक कर रहे हैं. Like it's a character comes in form, and there's a change in the way you talk about it also, so then they know कि oh, they're definitely exaggerating. So there's also that. Sometimes agar I see that people are not reacting, then I'm like, guys, this was me joking. This is not what I actually mean. Like I have to break the fourth wall in a show which is already breaking the fourth wall and say कि ये मैं एक्टिंग कर रही थी, ये मेरा नहीं है. सो sometimes if they don't get it, we also feel like oh, people should not think हमारे बारे में, because we're also humans at the end of the day and don't want to be perceived as bad people. Everybody wants to be liked. So you also have that thing कि हाँ, they should also feel कि हाँ जो ये बोल रहा है या बोल रही है सेंस बन रहा है. So yeah, I think that way we do feel that sense of responsibility when we're going on stage and what we're talking about. So yeah.
Absolutely, I can totally understand. I take some workshops and stuff, so I know how tough it is when you're in front of an audience and you're trying to put your best foot forward. And your field
Yeah.
is a little more challenging because you have to actually also bring out your wildest and your imagination. There's a lot of on-spot thinking, and you're trying to make the audience react in a very
Certain way.
difficult way. You want them to laugh, which is like harder
Yeah.
to make someone laugh. So I totally understand. I mean,
Yeah.
and yeah, there are situations we all go through it that we've said the wrong thing. I know in my childhood how many times I've said the wrong thing and I had to be punished by my parents for saying it out loud in the party. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, of course, it happens to all of us.
Correct.
I want to just ask you this. I know, I don't know if you want to comment on it or not, but I just felt like now with the flow, I really feel like asking you, what is your opinion on the current situation that's happening
Yeah.
with Ranbir? I mean, from my perspective, although I am also from the very moral side of situation, but I still feel it's unfair how he's being treated. Um,
Of course.
it's it is a slip of, I mean, it is a sad situation in its own way, right? That fine, he chose to, get involved in a script, but it's okay. We all make bad decisions and nobody deserves to go through this. There's no actual legal implication for saying the wrong thing. And he's being put
Yeah.
a lot. What is your opinion
Very.
on the show and the situation that's happening right now?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, because the fact is that he said the wrong thing. Okay, he gets backlash. I understand. You hate him in the comments. I still understand. But like a police case, so much media attention, so much police attention, political attention to this. And yeah, the fact that there are so many things that require far more attention are being completely ignored, like that hurts my heart, that okay, this is being considered. And of a format like the would you rather format is something that has started from the west, where you are supposed to shock the person. Now the thing is also that Veer has always had this different what do you call persona of his in front of the internet. So when he said something like this, it was even more shocking. Like, because Sama is known to say like outrageous things always. If he would have said, it would have probably not even been caught. So it was also like a shock value that it came from. And he's in fact someone who has supported like the right more. And in fact, this is the first time the left wingers are like standing up for him because they're like, भले उसने जो भी बोला पर उसको जेल वेल तो नहीं होनी चाहिए. And the fact that our country also reacts in this whole mob culture way and attacking his parents' clinics, and like it's affecting his safety and everything for, like, if you say this to anyone outside our country, we will be laughed upon, like that they're like, what, it doesn't seem real. Like, I sometimes feel this is still a fever dream, that because it's been now what, 3 weeks to it, I think, and it's still happening. The media, no matter what the video is, they are using Samai's face as a thumbnail. Why? Because they know people will click on it. Like, that just goes to show that they are not trying to solve the issue. They are using this controversy to get more likes and views and shares. So the fact that it is being, like, if the intention was to clean this all up, it would have been done a certain way. I would still respect that. Okay, you're sticking to that one line of what your thought process is, but there's so many political agendas behind this, so many other, like, media agendas behind this, that it's so corrupted, the system, that it just feels like, okay, ये किसी की भलाई के लिए, पब्लिक की भलाई के लिए तो नहीं हो रहा है. इट इज ऑल किन किन के पॉकेट्स भर सकते हैं, किन किन का फायदा हो सकता है, how to change public's opinion on which party. It just feels like a very murky system. And yeah, just
But do you
our
think
comedy club
India
has
is
been
not
shut.
ready for this kind of sensitive conversation? Like, are we still sort of one step behind on these are the subjects that we cannot touch?
Definitely our country, like, I would say, like, there are certain things like, we can't, probably we have to slowly prepare them, I guess, because we are uh, born in a country like that where there are so many extreme views. I think we have to slowly push the boundaries, like things like that we're talking about now, like 5 years ago, wouldn't have been okay, but now we are able to talk about it. Something as something as simple as homosexuality, talking about earlier would be like, oh my god, on stage, but now we speak about it very openly. We don't get reactions from the crowd. People all like are behaving like they should have behaved even 5 years ago, but now they are like more open to discussing it, sexuality, all of that, like. So I feel that slowly even they will come to terms with it. Maybe with Leighton, I was only worried that because they were pushing boundaries too quickly, the crowd, nobody could handle that. That was the only thing. But also the thing is that they were getting so many eyeballs. Everybody was loving it. Just 1 week before that, they were on KBC. Now, when somebody is being loved so much for what they are doing, they will feel more encouraged to accelerate the process also. Ki, oh, सबको मजा आ रहा है इसमें, तो let's go all out. So their intention is also कि ओ public को और मस्ती देते हैं. Their intention was not to hurt feelings and land up with FIRs and trouble to their family and themselves. Like, this wouldn't have been in their wildest of dreams. But the thing is, all of them had called it out. If you see, there are at least 5 reels where each of them are like, हमको भी शायद FIR हो जाए, because we've seen this happen before. We're seeing history repeat itself. So that also goes to say a lot about our country, that we know कि ये भी हो सकता है हमारे साथ. So that fear is always lurking above someone's head, and some people are willing to take the risk. Some of us are like, let's play it safe. Some don't care that much about it, but it's just that yeah. But it's been like blown out of proportion, and I just wanted to die down. And yeah, like the fact that the previous day only, this whole Uditji kissing women, all of that, nobody discussed it. Why? Because the man did not even accept it as a mistake. He said, ये हमारे साथ होता रहता है, आप लोग को क्यों फर्क पड़ता है इससे, you should forget it. And people forgot it. These boys are saying sorry, तो they're like, अच्छा sorry बोल, तो मानी तुम्हारी गलती, तो मारते तुम्हें. Like, that's what is happening, like something like that, which is like, as in my head, like the basis what I have seen, that they did not ask for a kiss on the mouth. If they have kissed you on the cheek, okay, yes, even them, that is them assaulting you, but him kissing them back and on the mouth forcefully is also assault in my head. So put both of them in, but whatever, like, why has that not been addressed at all? Like, that has fully gone. There were jokes made out of it, there were memes made out of it. No FIR, no questioning, nothing. This came, so everybody forgot of the G. Everyone is just on like Samaya and beer biceps. So it's just like, Something else will come,
Cancel
they'll
out
get
of
this. Yeah, a
these guys is
person.
what has happened so far. I mean, I definitely feel what was said was wrong. I definitely disagree with the show's concept as well because I'm also of that
Yeah,
opinion. Right? But I
yeah.
definitely feel like what is happening to them is wrong because there is no legal ground for putting them through this, and
Which
it's
is the
fine.
same. A lot of us comics also, we're not the biggest fan of the show format. And if you see, a lot of us have not even been on the show, but we get it. Like it's something he wanted to do. So we get
Fine.
his, yeah, his right to do something like that. So because if we are not the biggest fans, you don't associate or this like, okay, I'm like, okay, I don't mind watching this, but I wouldn't want to be on it. He also understands that. But yeah, the things, the repercussions of his actions, like those things are not matching only. Like there
Yeah.
has to be another way of like dealing with what happened and not, it's definitely not this. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
I hope they get relief soon, and I definitely feel that after you have taught me so much in this conversation that comic is creative energy and it's art, and I hope it's not completely disturbed now. Thank you, Pavitra, for having this authentic, honest, open conversation and helping us as an audience understand your point of view, a comedian's point of view, what goes into comedy and why. And I think it's a lot of strong perspective we've got here today. Thank you so much for having this conversation with me.
Thank you for having me and for being so open-minded and hearing out all my thoughts. And I hope you get some relief from it. And yeah, even your audience who watches it. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Guys, this was very, very informative, especially for if you are a person like me and saw this differently, saw this conversation as a space that would say, hey, we are right as parents and all of this language and content needs to go. Then I think you would have also found some answers like I have that, hey, everybody needs to have their space, it's creative energy, it's art. And there's a lot that goes into comedy as well. A lot of thought process is involved, a lot of intention to serve is involved in this. This is what I heard from Pavitra. She kept on saying, if somebody gets relief, if somebody laughs, it's a stress buster, mental health. There were a lot of these nice words, that kind of told me the intent is so right. And yes, I think she defined it so beautifully that there is some space for everybody. So if you're not the person for, adult comedy, then go ahead and find a comedian that appeals to you. Lots of learning from this episode. I definitely think this has helped me as a parent to settle my worry and anxiety. For more such conversations, do follow us on my handle, Ruchira Darda, and I'm bringing more conversations that can help us all as young parents to understand the society, mindset, professions much better. See you in the next conversation. Thank you.